Hello, 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 and welcome to Rockin the Love.
Oh my gosh. Hello. I'm Gil.
And I'm Robyn.
And we're
And
here. And and our producer Michael's with us too. Um,
it's a party. It's a party. So we're joining you today from all different locations. I am in currently in Oakland, California. Gil is in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and our producer's in Ohio. So we are the world.
we are okay. So what are we talking? What are we doing today? What's happening? Why are we here? What's Rockin' the Love? What's it about? Do you
Tell us.
remember? Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, so Rockin' the Love is all about relationships. It's all about the fact that everything's a relationship. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever's happening, you are in relationship with something, someone, some job, something. So we talk about all different kinds of. And hello, John. Thank you for the Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy everything. Appreciate it.
Can you finish your thought before you greet our lovely guests?
It's hard to. I'm not good with that. Finishing a thought is not my forte. I'm good at starting thoughts, though. I'm really good at starting thoughts.
Okay, so we're a married couple, and just so you know, I'm going to leave that one alone because I had many things I could have said about starting and finishing, but I'm not going to go there because today we're talking about receiving, the gift of receiving, the joy of receiving. Yes. Is there more to say about that?
Yeah, there's a lot more to say about it, and we'll go into it. But just the idea of, we sometimes we just forget that giving and gifting is part of the circle of life. It's constantly moving, and so we forget that receiving itself is a gift and all of that. So we just want to talk about some of those interesting questions in there and what it means, and how good of a receiver are we, and um, how does that affect our relationships?
Yeah, you're making me think right now. I'm wanting to launch right into it, but we're not going to. We're going to talk first about our week. How has your week been? You sounded stressed.
Oh, well, my week's been really, really, really good. Um, we have made uh, a huge, well, two huge things are happening at Rio Grande Center where I am. One of them is we have a big gala this weekend, and so everybody's been working hard on things, and that's been very busy. And the second thing, which has been working in the background and then came to pass, and we're in the final stages of contracting, is that we are going to be sharing space with another congregation, and that congregation being a local unity congregation. And so we're really excited about the possibilities and all the ways that we can support them and they can support us. And who knows? So it's very exciting, but it's been a lot of, you know, it's holding a lot. Thinking
Well,
about
it's very exciting, and it seems. I mean, for me, it's exciting when we, as new thought people, religious scientists, whatever you want to label us as, walk our talk, and that to me is part of walking our talk, is being able to collaborate and being able to really live in the oneness. And
yeah.
I think it's so beautiful. And I was fortunate enough to get to meet Reverend Debbie, who is the head of this Unity Church, and it's just such a fit. I mean, you know when you know your people, you know,
Right.
you know your tribe, and it's like it's a no brainer. So I'm excited for y'all.
Yeah, I'm excited to get it, kind of uh, dotted and crossed and all those things. And the plan is that we're all going to be in the same space as of the first of the year. So woohoo, that's pretty fast.
It is. It's very fast.
really fast. But it's really good, and it seems to be nothing but positivity from both sides. So that's been super exciting. Because
Collaboration, not competition.
exactly,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
fantastic.
I mean, when we come together, we have a different energy, and we can be supported by one another's energy, and we can all kinds of things.
So true.
So
Okay.
that's been my week. It's been a lot, but hey, it's going good.
Welcome, Shay. We see you out there. Well, good, 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 good. You should on the break on the commercial, you should put your information in for your silent auction and share it with people. Let them look at look at all your goods.
Okay, I will look that up on the break. Get that up
Okay.
there.
Okay.
What about you? What's been shaking in your week? You've had an interesting week.
Well, thanks for asking. I my week has been great. My week I came to Oakland from San Diego on Saturday and for a memorial service, which was beautiful and um, really just I thought it was a great honoring and a place for everybody to have closure around a friend of ours who had disappeared. And it was great to see a lot of people and a lot of friends, which led me into an evening celebration of me. Because
Mm,
since I moved from
of
Oakland,
you.
people were celebrating me. So let me just tell you that yes, this is how this topic came up for the show, receiving, because I really had to practice the week before. I had to practice receiving. I had to breathe. I had to know that it was going to be about me, and that there was nothing I could do about it. So, and it's interesting because a lot of people in my life think it's all about them, which is like the flip side to me, and it was a challenge. I mean, but it wasn't really a challenge I mean, I really think I had geared up, and I think that, being with all of my friends and um the people that I had like handpicked to be there, I was like, wow. I mean, I looked around the room and I was like, it's so interesting to be at a party where you really like everyone and you really know everyone and they're your people, you know? So it's great. It's been a great week. And I'm excited today. After this, I go to teach drama to my former drama students who are excited that I'm coming. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, it's been, it's been a journey. I'm sure
Wow.
more will come up. More will come
Well,
up as we talk.
so John says, I know he was at your honoring. He says, I'm trying to realize other people exist, Robyn, and I don't know if he means other than you or other than himself. I'm not sure. Um, uh,
Well, either
well,
one of those things are kind of accurate for us.
yeah, it's always
It's a mutual love affair.
there. You go.
Um,
And our producer, though, pointed out something that I think will come up in our talk later. That Catherine Ponder says number one prosperity issue is receiving.
mhm.
It's receiving.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to start talking about it because we'll go into that. Let's get through the good news because everybody needs good news. What do you got?
Okay. My good news is a little convoluted, but I thought it was really wonderful that um, I don't know. Sometimes we think our justice system just becomes punishment and it doesn't really do anything. It it just tries to force people to not do things. Um, well, apparently, some woman got into some kind of altercation at a Chipotle and threw her food at the worker, and she got in trouble. And the judge sentenced her to work in a fast food restaurant for 2 months.
Nice.
And I thought, you know what? That that is the thing people don't get.
Yep.
That's a real learning experience, to realize what that's like and how it is working, interacting with people on an ongoing basis, and having to constantly, get them a little more salsa and a little less cheese. And, I mean,
No, you know that I've always said I think everyone should have to work in a restaurant for some period
mhm.
of their life, because there is nothing like waiting on hungry people,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And we'll just use hungry as the adjective because they come in all different ways, right? But there's nothing like dealing with people like that. And it is a learning experience. I think that's
yeah,
great. I think there should be more of that for crimes committed. I do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to work at the convenience store and make sure everything is there before you go and rob another one. Um, I don't know. I mean, I think people don't get what's happening for other people, how their active, whatever it is, how their activity, their beingness affects those around them.
Right. Yeah, that human element. So
Yeah.
my good news story is I thought I was trying to find something that had to do with receiving. And what I found was there's it's dozens of what they're calling flash dads. And what they do is they cheer on their students arriving at elementary school in Kentucky, and at Louisville Elementary School. And every Wednesday, all different dads from all over, all different races, all different creeds, all of that. And Wednesday, because it's hump day, um, it's the day of action. And flash dads come and volunteer, and as their kids go into school, they fist bump them and they give them high fives to start the school day. And that's the way that it goes to all the kids. And the teachers report, of course, that those are the best days of the week, that the students are more positive, that, people are just more willing and uplifted, and they can't believe that people are there for them. So this gives them an opportunity to really feel like somebody's there for them and rooting for them. And I thought that was great, right? I mean,
Yeah. And how simple.
right. It's such a little, exactly. It's such a little thing, and it's such a huge thing, which is
And
the
to
whole
think
thing
that,
about
yeah,
receiving.
yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, you're teaching kids how to receive, and at some point they're going to realize, wow, it makes a difference when I accept this you know. And I think you have all these dads who are receiving stuff they never expected to from this,
Right.
you know?
Of course, it's a mutual give take, but I just thought, I mean, and how simple, what is it? It probably takes what, 15, 20 minutes out of their
No,
day, I mean, so yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
that's so cool.
Yeah. So cool is that we're going to be coming right back to discuss receiving right here on New Thought Media Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
I'm
I'm
Robyn.
Gil, and that's Robyn. There she is. All right. So we're all watching or participating in Rockin the Love today. And we do this every week, every Wednesday. Robyn and I have a chance to hang out with those of you online and talk a bit about relationships. And that's what we're doing today. So, what are we talking about today, Robyn?
Talking about receiving.
Mm.
Receiving. This is the time of year when everybody's talking about giving and receiving. But sometimes we just think about the giving and the receiving is a little bit more challenging. So so we thought we'd talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were just describing your events of the week and having to move in a space of receiving. Um, did that feel odd to you at all, or what you
You
mentioned? It
know,
was kind of a challenge.
it didn't it's like no, it was nice. It was nice. I mean, I had to breathe a lot and just be present. I had to, I really had to, because I really wanted to take it in. I didn't want to be like, oh, thanks, and move on. You know what I
Uh,
mean? And so I was really committed. I mean, it, it was kind of like watching a movie of your life in some ways, because I should have brought out my award to show you.
I
So,
was going to say, where's your award?
I know it's in the other room. Uh, yeah, it was very surreal. So the party was done like an Academy Awards party because every year since I was 9 years old, I've had an annual Academy Awards party pretty much, and give or take pandemic and a few things. Um, and so they did it like an Academy Award party, and they started out um, telling me the nominations for everybody's best friend were Taylor Swift, Oprah Winfrey, um, Michelle Obama, and one more person that I forgot. Do you remember, John? anyway, I won. Yay, me. And so they gave me a statue and an award, and then I had to listen to everyone, not had to, I got the opportunity to listen to everyone say why I was their best friend and, the things they love about me and all of that stuff. And it was interesting. And after they started, I like just picked up my phone and called Gil so that he could be on the screen listening, because I was like, oh my god, I'm never going to be able to tell anybody what this really was, how this really went. And it was just, I mean, it was so moving because I really had to I had to stop and be present, re-presence myself with every person. And I mean, that's kind of symbolic, I think, for receiving, because I think, you know, it's it's like it's like a physical thing. It's like if you were going out to play a sporting game, you do exercises, you do warm-ups. It's like when someone's giving you a gift, it's like, do we really take that time to stop and to breathe and to be ready to receive, or do we go into, oh, you shouldn't have, oh my god, you know what I mean? That takes us out of the moment of like, this person has, I mean, this person is not only at my party, but they've written something that means something to them about me. That was a lot, it
Well,
wasn't like
you know,
off the cuff.
I want to back it up a little because um, you want to say anything about how that party came to be
No, do
from
you?
your. Well, what I'm going to say is just that my witnessing of it was that people had said to you on multiple occasions, "We want to do something to honor you," and you kind of did everything in your power to scooch around that for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean it
I don't,
a
I
bit
think
to
what
get
you're,
in that space.
yeah, maybe, I don't know. I, I don't see it like that. I mean, what I said was when we were moving last month, everybody wanted to have plans and to do things and to be with me before I left and to say goodbye. I'm like, I can't say goodbye right now because I was super clear that I couldn't have done what I did this week, that week.
That's true.
You know,
That's absolutely true.
I couldn't, I could not receive it, period, because there wasn't space in my week for, you know what I mean? So it wasn't, I didn't, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I hear you, but I don't feel like that. I feel like, I mean, and I guess I'm bringing up a good point in that you have what I just said, you have to be in a space to receive.
Hmm.
You know, we have to be in a space to receive. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. It's like putting up the wall.
Hmm. Hmm. If the window's not open, the ball's going to crash into the window. It's not going to come in, you know,
Hmm.
and it just doesn't work that way. What is your response? Oh, that's the audience question. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. So, what is your response when people give to you? I think that, you know, it's, yeah. I mean, it's really just a noticing too. You know, not even a criticism. It's just noticing where you are. I don't think any of it's wrong, but I think there's always some room to grow.
Yeah, I think well, I think we've both had I think well, we've both grown into receiving in a different way over the last couple of years, probably.
Mhm.
I certainly have since I've been in Albuquerque had to shift my deflection mechanisms, um, and to really open up to receive, you know,
Mhm.
um, and it's not always a straightforward thing, and sometimes it brings up feelings of inadequacy. It brings up feelings of all kinds of different things, and so I don't want people giving me things that I feel like somehow I don't deserve. And and I think part of the whole process of growing up is that we start to recognize where we don't believe in ourselves. And in shifting that, we start to learn how to receive.
Yes. And I mean, yeah, I think being able to receive gets tied into a lot of different things. Um, into self-esteem and all kinds of things because it's hard to receive if you don't feel worthy.
Right. Right. And so what happens, so that this goes to the bigger theme of receiving, what happens is when we don't receive, we take away the gift that receiving is for the person who's giving because we don't receive it.
Right.
So now the gift that we could have given someone else in the process of receiving, we have denied them. And I think that's a fascinating thing to think about, how much we don't we don't allow each other to give or to receive, you know. It's a both and.
Yes. And there's a quote I sent you that would go with that.
Yes. Are you looking for it or you can't?
No, I can't.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna look for it.
And I just want to say, John, I see what you said. I'm not acknowledging you. John said uh, he too saw. Oh, he said, "Be with both of you. I see you two intertwined." Okay, I too saw ducking and dodging. Just saying. I don't really think so. I mean, I hear you, but I don't really think so. I mean, I didn't feel like I had that attitude really at all. Um, but maybe.
Hmm.
But I'm just saying. I mean, I felt like I knew why I knew I was so
Hmm.
my group of friends is a very powerful group of friends, and when they were started talking about they were doing something for me, and then I heard they were having Zoom calls, and they and I was like, okay, this is bigger than me. I really had to let it go, because like the people that were involved in the Zoom calls, I was like, oh my God, this is like a planning committee for an event. And I had to just let it go and go, oh my God, I'm so grateful. I'm so honored, you know. I, and I, I don't feel unworthy. I felt really grateful. That's all. And what was so beautiful to me was that everything they spoke about is everything I see in them.
Mm. Mm.
So I really got who the mirror and who we are and why we pick who we pick and what everybody brings to the table. You know what I mean? And so even though yeah, sometimes at some point in life, my instinct might have been to go, oh, you guys, you're all the best, and you are da da da. I want to tell them. I told my friend Regina. I said, I did during the week before. I was like, oh my God, everyone's gonna be together. I could get them gifts and give them the gifts that I think they deserve. And I was like, Robyn, not what this is about, you know? Because I wanted to give, but I was like, I get that that's what I do. And so I didn't need to do it there.
Well, you needed to give the gift of receiving what they wanted to give you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I needed
Yeah.
to let it land, and just be in it. And they had a great time watching me squirm.
So you did squirm a little.
I wasn't squirming as much as I was breathing. Like I had to just keep recalibrating my body and go, okay, there's more. Like after like three people talked, I was like, oh my God, there's like 15 more people in the room. You know, I had to keep breathing. Yeah, I had to, because I had wanted to keep taking it in. And I mean, at
Yeah.
one point somebody said, do we need a commercial break? 'Cause, like, it was just, but it was great. It was great. So I don't feel like I was dodging it, and I'm sorry if it felt like that, but I, I don't know. I don't know. You guys were great. So anyway, but enough about
So
me. Back to
there's
you.
there's
Yeah.
a there's a quote from Brene Brown.
Yeah, I like that one.
Until we can receive with an open heart. Whoops. Okay. There it is. Until we can receive with an open heart, we are never really giving with an open heart. And I think that's an interesting. Has that I don't know, that asks us to really up our game, if you will, on receiving, to me,
I don't know. What do you
because
all think out there? What do you think, Shay, John, whoever's listening? So say it again.
um says until we can receive with an open heart, we are never really giving with an open heart.
I, I think that's true.
Well, and it yeah, and it takes us to that place where, you know, if we can't receive it, we can't take it in, then there's some blockage in terms of are you being able to give it out with the same kind of love? Because then we get caught in those places where we go, well, I gave you this and you didn't recognize me, or you didn't honor it somehow. And so now my open heart isn't as open, you know?
Yeah. Receiving fully cracks my heart wide open when I realize God is giving to me That's beautiful. Yeah. Um,
So I want to go back to Shay personally. Well, here says I can give. Well, yeah, there we go. There we go. Personally, I find it really hard to receive, and I think that's kind of sad. And it's unfamiliar. And then she goes on to say, I can give and give and give a gift. That's not a problem. But there's a whole thing that's that Shay gets that misses out on. I think that's where the sad part is that receiving. Because I bet there's people that want to give or that do
well,
give. And there's,
I
there's people in our lives that give and we don't recognize it.
absolutely. I mean, love is all around us. I mean, that's what we believe, right? Love is all around us because it's all love on one level, and it doesn't matter unless we can receive it.
Right, right,
Mhm.
right. Um, yeah, it's like it's yeah, it's that idea of being in the ocean and looking for the water, you know. I love it when you
Okay.
think I'm really esoteric or really just not clear at all. Anyway, but when you're totally surrounded by something and yet, we don't have the means, or we don't have the means within ourselves to receive whatever it is.
Okay. And so, whew, why is that? I mean, I'm thinking. Just thinking. This is just coming into my head. It's not personal to anybody, but I'm thinking if we can't receive, or if we're challenged by receiving, I should say, why is that? And is that on some level, are we having an identity crisis?
Mm.
Because if the universe is all love all the time, everywhere we look, and that's who I am, then my value, I mean, if I really believe that and stand in that, my value is such that it's all the gifts of the kingdom are mine, and I should be able to receive them with open arms, right? I know you're not frozen,
Without
you're blinking your eyes.
without without yes, without putting up whatever barriers we might put up to that. Yes. I mean, we there's no reason for us to not receive that because we are the fullness of spirit, right? So there's not a flaw, there's not a thing that would stop us from receiving, except for something we have in our heads, or some experience that we still are healing from, or some belief we have about who we really are, which is what you said, an identity crisis, a belief about who we are, and we're not fully embracing our identity. That's a really powerful thing.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, so I'm trying to think like what's my challenge with receiving? Because I can remember actually, I mean, because I don't feel like I have a huge challenge with receiving, period. And if I if I did, I mean, I feel like I've worked through a lot of it. Like I remember when I was a kid, and and we were opening Christmas presents, and there was this big box, and you know how when you're a kid you don't want to get clothes, you want it to be something cooler. You want a gift, or I wanted a gift anyway. And I opened this big box, and there was underwear, and it was like, oh, thanks. And I was like, thanks. But but I knew, I saw that below the underwear, I was 7. I saw below the underwear there was a TV. and it was a TV for my room. And I was so overwhelmed that I didn't want them to know that I saw it. I wanted to just pretend it wasn't there because I don't know. I mean, not that I didn't want to receive it. I was 7. I wanted the TV in my room, but I was I just I did it just was overwhelming. It was like, and sometimes that's the way love feels, and that's the way people feel or compliments feel. Like
Mhm.
sometimes it's, and so for me, and this is so counterintuitive, but for me, sometimes it's about being in the spotlight, because yes, I am an actor. Yes, I am a creative person. Yes, I like to be on stage and perform, but that's different. That's when I'm being somebody else. When I'm me, it's like the attention on me is not always where I want it. Does that make sense?
It kind of does, but it goes to, the question of, are there times where that attention is the gift? That's the gift that's coming to us. And I mean, you and I talk about this all the time, that we end up in places where there's, something happens, somebody creates something or puts it out there, whatever, but we've been a part of it and we're not mentioned,
Right,
right? Because of how we function.
right.
And so is that really because we're not noticed, or is that because of the way we deflect? We somehow don't feel comfortable receiving that spotlight. So we try to, we set it up so other people don't notice, if you will, or don't want to give us that gift. I mean, I think that's an interesting thing to look at.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of
Maybe,
other
but
reasons, a lot of
I'm
other
not
stuff.
sure. So okay, so back to like what Shay was saying, and how does one open up that space to receive love? I mean, I'm just gonna call any kind of gift love right now.
Okay. Well, Shay said after that, it is an identity crisis. I'm learning to acclimate to the high vibrational frequencies of my reality of being a divine child of God. And I think that is our process, is acclimating to that truth of who we are. And that's always shifting our ability to be comfortable in our own skin, comfortable enough to receive both praise and, um, what's the other word I want? Praise and what's the other word? Why am I losing it here? Anyway, either good or bad feedback.
I think that, yeah, I think a lot of it's about balance as well, because I think uh, being able to receive genuinely means not having to do anything back, not having to give back. Like, oh, they brought me this gift, oh, now I have to give them a gift. Or, oh my God, they remembered my birthday, I've got to remember their birthday. I mean, sure, if that's, generic and feels good, that's one thing. But like, sometimes I feel like it's this the gift of receiving is lost in the what you have to do because you received the
Well, it
protocol,
becomes it
the
becomes
expected.
transactional,
Right, right. That's it.
right?
It's
It's a
actually a good word.
transactional gift. I get A, you get B. That's how it works, you
Mhm.
know. And when we're functioning from that way, then our receiving the gift isn't the same kind of gift to the person giving it either. Because now, all we've done is set up the requirement for something to go back and forth almost.
Right.
So Shay says that's right there. That's it right there, Robyn. Unconditional receiving. I think that's a powerful statement because we always talk about unconditional giving,
Hmm.
unconditional receiving.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that's powerful, you know. I think it is powerful because I that's hard. I mean, but the hard part for me in that is really knowing that I've given. Like it's not like I have to do it because they're doing it. They're doing it because I did it, and it happens naturally, right? Shay says, in my childhood and even up to this day, everything in my family is transactional. So, of course, I would have a hard time just receiving and not having to think I have to go right back out and give back to someone. It's conditioning.
Yeah. Yeah. And how many of us, grew up in homes or were environments where there was a level at which that was how we were trained, if you will. You should never, I think you mentioned it last time, Rob. You should always show up at the door with something. You should always, whatever.
Yeah, gift giving.
Yeah. And it's not that all those things are bad. They're not bad, and some of them are fine. But it's that place where people start going, you know, it's like they give the list to their assistant to go out and buy a bunch of gifts for people because they don't really care what what is gotten. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the
Yeah, I
extreme
don't
case.
even
That's not
know that
always
it's,
what's happening there, but it's that idea. It's like we need to have gifts for these people. So please go handle that, you know?
well, it's transactional.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even know that it's that. I mean, I think like a lot of the things that, where all these, what do you call it, traditions came from, was back, I'm guessing, from a simpler time, where you baked a loaf of bread or cookies and you took them to a neighbor. You did things like that. And so now that's not our life. That's not the way, generally we don't have that kind of time to, be putting all that into a gift. Maybe sometimes, maybe for some people, maybe, but it's like when it becomes an obligation, then it's not the same transaction because it's not a genuine transaction. I now intend to give and receive from an open heart. That's beautiful.
And that right there is key. It's what's our intention. We often talk about what are we giving from, where are we giving from, and where are we receiving from? It's the same thing. Are we receiving from that space of openness and gratitude and willingness? And are we giving from that space of openness, gratitude, and willingness?
Yeah, yeah, and that's beautiful. And it's really, I mean, I think if you can move into that space of giving and receiving from an open heart, if you can really remember that, that'll help us get to what's behind the scenes. Like what are we afraid of that keeps us from, bringing get receiving from an open heart, because it comes from all different ways, whether it's, unworthiness or your ability to love yourself, your fear of losing people or things or something. I mean, there's all different reasons that we aren't comfortable in that position. But I love what you said, Shay, just because I love that image of an open heart. Like even when people are giving to me, like if I can breathe and just think of that open heart or some image that just symbolizes that, reciprocal givingness of spirit, that will help me to remember, that it's my moment to receive, and that we're all receiving in the moment.
We're all receiving while we're all giving.
Right.
There isn't and that's one of the um, things that we had over here. Um, Thank you, Rev Kevin. Giving or receiving complete a divine circuit, and both receiver and giver must make the connection. Yes. And then there's this quote: giving does not only precede receiving, it is the reason for it. It is in giving that we receive. And I would argue it is in receiving that we give as well.
So it
It's the
really
circle.
becomes which came first, the chicken or the egg, right?
That's right. That's right.
But I think the key thing that we're saying today is really to let love in and not to block it, and to open your heart, and to live in the moment, and to cherish the fact that other people care so deeply about you, and that you're connected and needed and wanted, and and all of that, you know.
Yeah. And to believe, to yeah, to receive the love that's coming from behind whatever is being given from, and I think that's a powerful thing when we can step into that, because it changes us when we're able to receive that love. I mean, um, um, John said back here, in my own experience, to fully receive God's love leaves me staggering and overwhelmed. It's majestic and huge. And I think often when we really receive from people and we realize that that's spirit showing up, loving us, that can, that starts to shake the tree around what we really believe about ourselves. And so we get an opportunity to examine that.
Yeah. Rev Kev says the qualities of the divine circuit, the mentality and feeling are generosity, a divine flow, a plenty. Yeah, and also, yeah, so I'm just encouraging anyone out there, John, to really, as you've heard us say on the show before, John is one of the most giving individuals you
You
will
know,
ever meet on the planet. And I know many of you out there probably are as well. But I mean, over the top giving. He's just that's how he lives to serve, and it's beautiful. And so, but I just encourage you, and anyone who lives like that, to take a breath and to allow yourself to receive as well, because many people want to give, and want to give to you. And so if you're on the receiving end, if you're the giving end, wherever your strengths are, just try the other side this week. See
try
what
the
happens.
other side.
Yeah. Shay says, I was having a different kind of experience the other day when I was in an interview, and one of the people on the board was giving me all kinds of compliments. And I just sat there and said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I received it. And it was beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so great, like, that you received it, that you're not taking it for granted, you know, and it's almost like what we say, act as if, or fake it till you make it, or whatever. Even like, think about, like, in the store when someone says to you, okay, have a nice day. Do they mean it? I don't know. But what if you take it as they do, right? What if you take that in? You know, I mean, is it just their jargon that they're supposed to say to the customers? Who cares? You know, who cares? It's what you make it, you know. So can you receive it no matter how they said it? You get to be the recipient and invite that into your life.
Get to be our own receivers.
You do. So that is receiving. And yeah, it's a great week of receiving. I'm going out to get some more.
Wow. What you got? You getting some more today?
Kids, I'm going to teach kids. They're the
Oh,
biggest
fun.
givers.
Okay. Fun.
Yep. So
Well,
we just encourage you, if you are in the mood to receive or give, we encourage you to do that because there we can give right here to New Thought Media Network, which truly, truly is going to benefit all of us in the long run. We have some exciting stuff coming up in the new year. We have all kinds of workshops and different things that are going to be presented, and we'd love to for all of you to be a part of it. Also, we have at Rio Grande Center their gala this weekend with a silent auction that everyone can visit online and see if there's anything there that you want to give, or it's your
you want
time
to
to
receive?
receive. That's
I'm
right.
good. There it is. Okay, we put it back up. Thank you.
So there is that information to go check out all of their wares. And to that note, I just want to say thank you all for being here. And we feel y'all rocking the love, and we're glad to be here with you. So thanks for joining us today. Thank you to our producer, Michael Mangus, who rocks the love all the time with us, even when he'd rather be at theology beer camp or somewhere else. All right, everybody. So we will see you next week, right here on New Thought Media Network, Wednesdays at noon. Rock
Thanks,
the love,
everybody.
everybody.
Keep rocking.